National Schools Arts Festival, the Dominica Institute for the Arts, the Negmawa Movement, well, that's the Negmawa Monument, the Old Mill Museum, the Dominica History Week, and Flag Day are among others. Did you know that he successfully led Dominica's national cultural delegations to 3 different Cariftas, well, that's Carifestas, and also to Expo Dubai in 2021? Did you know that he is the recipient of numerous awards to include the Meritorious Service Award in 2004, the Golden Drum Award in 2014, the Lifetime Achievement Award in 2022, and he also was inducted into the Caribbean Hall of Fame for Arts and Culture in 2012 in Jamaica. Did you know that his narration formed part of the award-winning film entitled Island Under Pressure, which won the Best Documentary Short Award at the Cannes World Film Festival in France in 2022? Our focus on Did You Know Today? Former Chief Cultural Officer Raymond Lawrence, affectionately known as Uncle Ray. Good morning to you, Uncle Ray. Raymond Lawrence sending good vibes to you, and also the good folks of the Waitukubuli Dance Theatre Company as well. Did you know? Made possible compliments the good folks of Quartz Dominica Limited and your nation station, national broadcaster DBS Radio. Up next, the DBS Major Morning News.
DBS News. Fresh in the morning. Eye-opening and balanced. The DBS Morning News starts right now.
This morning's headlines: the United States government, through the U.S. Southern Command, is funding a new fire station for La Plaine at a cost of $2.1 million. Jamaica's prices hold steady despite the United States tariff tensions. And on the international scene, Israel accuses France, the United Kingdom and Canada of siding with Hamas. Well, good morning. I'm Gavin Richards with the DBS Major Morning News. The details right after this.
Drink and win with Distinction Milk. Purchase 2 large cans or 4 small cans of Distinction Milk and you get a chance to take home a Ninja Blender, $500 cash, or $500 shopping voucher from any local store you like. Just write your name and telephone number on your receipt and drop it into the box at your store, or WhatsApp a photo of your receipt to 317-4130. That number again, 317-4130. It's that easy. Distinction Milk, 100% cow's milk. Better quality, better taste. Hurry, promotion ends soon. Distributed by Fine Foods Inc.
Since 1910, HHV Whitchurch and Company Limited has proudly served Dominica, offering a wide variety of products and services in shipping, logistics, insurance, travel, retail, and wholesale. We are committed to serve you. Contact us today at 767-255-1100 or visit us at our main office on Old Street, Roseau. From humble beginnings to proud achievements, HHV Whitchurch and Company Limited.
Petro Caribe. Tank installation is part of our mission. Excellent client support is what we got. Contribution to development of Dominica. Supply of LPG at an affordable rate. Let's go. Petro Caribe straight. No time to waste. So come on everyone with me to Petro Caribe. 250 gallon propane tank. 420 pound propane tank. 100 pound LPG cylinder. Petro Caribe. 20 pound fiberglass cylinder. Petro Caribe. Petro Caribe. Petro Caribe. Petro Caribe. Petro Caribe. Petro Caribe. Petro Caribe.
DBS News.
Welcome back. First up in the news this morning, the United States government, through the U.S. Southern Command, is funding a new fire station for La Plaine at a cost of $2.1 million. Charge d'Affaires of the U.S. Embassy to Barbados and to the Eastern Caribbean, Corinne Sullivan, made the announcement yesterday as the U.S. Embassy handed over 3 newly constructed disaster management facilities, 2 emergency operation centers, and disaster relief warehouses at a cost of $3 million.
Therefore, I am pleased to reaffirm the Major General's announcement that U.S. Southern Command has agreed to fund a $2.1 million fire and ambulance service station in La Plaine. In March of this year, U.S. Naval Facilities Southeast awarded a contract for the construction of a 2,775 square foot facility that will improve emergency response capabilities by providing living quarters for 16 personnel, fire truck bays, and administrative spaces. Southcom has also awarded $35,000 for disaster management training that will be led by the International Association of Emergency Managers, which will further hone the skills of disaster management professionals, police, and first responders.
And that was the charge d'affaires of the U.S. Embassy to Barbados and the Eastern Caribbean, Corinne Sullivan. One of the buildings commissioned on Thursday was the Administrative Annex in Jimmet. A permanent secretary in the Ministry of National Security, Joanne Commodore, says the new building will complement the Disaster Management Office, also in Jimmet.
So this is an emergency operations center. It forms part of government's decentralization policy, which will better enable us to deal with disaster management related incidents and of course to accommodate training, etc. What this building essentially does is that it allows for us to do planning, coordination, etc. after a disaster, in collaboration, of course, with the main building. We also staff it throughout the year. So we handle trainings through this building. We handle I would say the increase in staff as well that we're looking forward to for the Office of Disaster Management. Some of them would of course sit in this office. So it's like a satellite building, so to speak. This particular one will form part of the main office. Well, as I indicated to you, it's very important to Dominica. It's part of our decentralization policy, part of the way to enable us to handle disaster management, planning, training, etc., as well as to accommodate any increases of staff that we inevitably have to do.
And Secretary in the Ministry of National Security, Joanne Commodore. Meantime, Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerrit says Dominica and the United States have continued to collaborate in several areas and relations between the two countries are strong.
Let me first of all extend a warm welcome to Mrs. Sullivan and her team from the U.S. Embassy and also from the Southern Command. Thank you for being here in Dominica to participate in these ceremonies, but more so to continue building on the strong partnership between our two countries. We are honored by your presence here in Dominica to participate, as I said, in this ceremony and to reaffirm the strong and enduring partnership between our two nations. Your visit speaks to the shared values of cooperation, mutual respect, and our collective commitment to resilience, development, and security in the region. We deeply appreciate the continued support of the United States government, particularly in areas such as infrastructure, capacity building, and disaster preparedness and national security. And I dare say we cannot write the history of national security in Dominica and not have several paragraphs and several pages assigned to the United States of America. Without you, the Caribbean would not be as safe as it is today. And do not ever underestimate your contribution to our national security and regional security. The United States has always been a dedicated partner where security is concerned, and we thank you for that.
Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerrit. In some more news this morning, weather forecasters are predicting an active hurricane season. The National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, NOAA, predicts that there will be at least 13 to 19 named storms with 6 to 10 hurricanes. Leila Langford was among Caribbean broadcasters who discussed the hurricane season in Grenada yesterday and filed this report.
Climatologist Cedric Van Merbeck from the Caribbean Institute for Meteorology and Hydrology provided insights for the upcoming season.
In terms of the hurricanes, what we expect depends on two things. One is predictable, and that is how hot the sea is. Given how hot the seas around the Caribbean are, we predict that the season would be at least as active as was normal in the past. So that means at least about 14 storms of which 7 would become hurricanes and 3 would become major hurricanes. But in fact, we do have a little bit better predictability this time around than in some other years. And we expect that the range of the number of storms and hurricanes will likely be at least the average, but could be as high as about 18, 19 storms, about 10 hurricanes, and up to about 4 or 5 major hurricanes in the worst case.
Climatologist Cedric Van Merbeck from the Caribbean Institute for Meteorology and Hydrology. He further noted concerns regarding the presence of Saharan dust in the atmosphere, which could significantly impact the hurricane season. It is said that this could result in either a less active or a highly active period. Additionally, there is a possibility of extreme rainfall, which could lead to severe flooding across the Caribbean region, including Dominica. Met Officer Vernie Masley Honoré from the Dominica Met Service, who was present at the Regional Climate Outlook Forum, stated that following this forum, a national forecast for Dominica will be presented on June 11.
So our purpose today was to present the wet season Atlantic hurricane season forecasts, which were prepared by the meteorologists and climatologists from across the region and the staff from the Caribbean Institute for Meteorology and Hydrology in terms of the Atlantic hurricane season forecast. So the forecast was presented today, and the stakeholders got a chance to think about how that forecast would affect their actions going forward into the hurricane season in terms of what the impacts could possibly be on the sectors. In terms of Dominica's forecast, the Dominica Meteorological Service will be presenting its forecast on June 11th when we host the National Climate Outlook Forum at the Office of Disaster Management with our own local sector representatives.
And that was Met Officer Vernie Masley Honoré. Layla Langford reporting from St. George's, Grenada for DBS News.
Thank you very much, Layla Langford. Access to credit for the people of the Kalinago territory has been made easier following the launch of the Aid Bank's consistent presence in the Kalinago territory program. Under the program, staff from the Aid Bank will be physically present in the Kalinago territory to facilitate access to the Kalinago Development Fund and the Aid Bank's Special Student Loan Facility. Acting General Manager of the Aid Bank is Mathilda John Rose.
We are here to bring to you, in particular, 2 loan facilities which were specifically tailored for you, the people of the Kalinago territory. We are aware that it has been a challenge commuting to town to access financing. We have given consideration to your challenges and are prepared to make access to credit easier for you. So commencing next week, May 27th and May 29th, and every Tuesday and Thursday thereafter, the Aid Bank's team will be at the Sensi Resource Center from 8:30 to 4 p.m. You will be able to thoroughly discuss your loan requests. We will walk you through the completion of the loan application form. We will discuss with you the necessary documentation, and you will execute the loan documents, all at the Sensi Center. So if you have any questions, we will be ready to answer your questions for you. If you have an idea and you figure you need further assistance, you just want to talk, we are here. Every Tuesday and Thursday, 8:30 to 4 p.m., we will be with you to give you undivided attention. So we are here now to introduce specifically 2 facilities for you. But when we are at the center, it is not only for the 2 facilities. We are there for anything you want.
Acting General Manager of the Aid Bank, Mathilda John Rose, Minister for Kalinago Affairs and MP for the Salibia constituency, Kozia Frederick, called on the people of the Kalinago territory to take advantage of the opportunities being presented to them.
Just doing the research, I realized that Aid Bank has helped in a number of areas for a number of years. We talk about housing, infrastructure, agricultural loans, student loans, and all of those things that have been happening for years. But what I also realize is that the Kalinago territory have always been part of it, has always been part of it. So it means that this meeting here is so important because we in the Kalinago territory also have to do more for ourselves. And we have to assert ourselves. And that's why when we had the conversation with the manager, we think it'd be really, really good to have the Aid Bank in that space. So there's no excuse that we have to pay boss, We go down there, the appointment don't work. I brought one paper today, I had to come back up for another paper. And there's this story too, where manager had to help us with, because I hear too many reports on the aid bank, that the aid bank itself is not diligent enough. The aid bank is a development bank, and it has to help to shape the lives of people and make their lives better. So if I go down there as a little Kalinago guy, Cozier Frederick from Salibia, and I have an appointment with a loans officer, and when I come with my ID and a salary slip, I have to come back next week with something else. This is not good enough. So while you're here, I take the opportunity to admonish every one of us, because we have a responsibility to provide the services to people, but also our right to access to finance, our right to have all of those is always on us.
And that's Minister for Kalinago Affairs and MP for the Salibia constituency, Cozier Frederick. Well, let's head into news from the region this morning. The Bank of Jamaica, the BOJ, says that new U.S. tariffs are not likely to raise much prices, or not likely to raise prices much in Jamaica, at least not at first. The BOJ Governor, Richard Biles, said the bank looked at different possible effects of the U.S. policies and found that the first wave of price increases in Jamaica will likely be small. He noted that while inflation in the United States might rise temporarily, it might or it won't have a big knock-on effect in Jamaica. Biles explained that even if prices in Jamaica go up a bit because of U.S. inflation, the effect will be softened by lower global oil prices. And on the international scene, the Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has launched a blistering attack on the British Prime Minister and the leaders of France and Canada, saying that they had effectively said they want Hamas to remain in power. He also accused them of standing with mass murderers, rapists, baby killers, and kidnappers. Addressing Thursday's attack on Israeli embassy staff in Washington, Netanyahu said the leaders of some of Israel's closest allies wanted Israel to stand down and accept that Hamas's army of mass murderers will survive. But earlier this week, Britain, France, and Canada condemned Israel's expansion of the Gaza war, or they described it as disproportionate and described the humanitarian situation as intolerable. Well, that's the news. Let's recap the headlines. The United States government, through the U.S. Southern Command, is funding a new fire station for La Plaine at a cost of $2.1 million. Jamaica's prices hold steady despite U.S. tariff tensions. Israel accuses France, the United Kingdom, and Canada of siding with Hamas. And coming up in sports, well, the West Indies off to a decent start against Ireland in the second one-day international. Stay tuned. Sports comes up next.
Soft weave bathroom tissue, napkins, and paper towels are the perfect choice for your home. Manufactured with virgin fibers, it's the quality that you and your family deserve. New Soft Weave Total Hygiene bathroom tissue is produced at high temperatures to remove microorganisms. It's pH controlled to protect your skin and produced with UV light disinfection to eliminate bacteria and viruses, providing maximum protection. Soft Weave, distributed by Fine Foods Inc. and sold island-wide.
Soft Weave, quality, affordability, manufactured with you in mind.
Since 1910, HHV Whitchurch and Company Limited has proudly served Dominica, offering a wide variety of products and services in shipping, logistics, insurance, travel, retail, and wholesale. We are committed to serve you. Contact us today at 767-255-1100 or visit us at our main office on Old Street, Roseau. From humble beginnings to proud achievements, HHV Whitchurch and Company Limited.
Petro Caribe. Tank installation is part of our mission. Excellent client support is what we got. Contribution to development of Dominica. Supply of LPG at an affordable rate. Let's go. Petro Caribe straight. No time to waste. So come on everyone with me to Petro Caribe. 250 gallon propane tank. 420 pound propane tank. 100 pound LPG cylinder. Petro Caribe. 20 pound fiberglass cylinder. Petro Caribe. Petro Caribe. Petro Caribe. Petro Caribe. Petro Caribe. Petro Caribe. Petro Caribe.
Covering the nation and beyond. DBS Sports Report.
Rudolph Thomas Enterprise in Portsmouth, your suppliers of building materials and hardware products. Over 20 years experience in the business. Rudolph Thomas has lumber and plywood, Portland and tile cement, steel rods, galvanized and fence pipe. And Rudolph Thomas can meet all your wire needs. Galvanized roofing sheets, doors, windows, toilet sets, face basins and bidets. PVC piping, fittings and lattice. Check out Rudolph Thomas for ceramic and vinyl floor and wall tiles, nails, nuts and bolts, paint and painting supplies. And check out their line of electrical and hand tools. And Rudolph Thomas is your one-stop shop for hard-to-find items like fiberglass mat and fiberglass resin and welding rods. Go now to Rudolph Thomas on 1240 Bay Street in Portsmouth.
Just Mobank me. Here's my ID.
Just Mobank me. It's that easy.
The faster, easier way to bank.
NBD makes it easy to bank online, anywhere, at any time with Mobanking. The faster, easier way to bank.
The faster, easier way.
So transfer funds on Mobanking.
The faster, easier way.
To pay your bills with Mobanking.
The faster, easier way.
So order checks on Mobanking.
The faster, easier
Pay employees
way.
on Mobanking.
The faster, easier way to bank.
Plus, you can now top up your phone on Mobanking. No need for cash or card. Simply log into Mobanking to top up your phone. Visit nbdominica.com or follow us on Facebook and Instagram for more details.
The faster, easier way to bank.
NBD.
Your partner, your bank.
Well, welcome to the Morning Sports Report. Let's bowl off with cricket news as the West Indies are off to a decent start in the second ODI against Ireland. That match currently underway. Ireland won the toss. They've elected to bowl first. And of course, the West Indies are 105 for 2 after 20 overs. Casey Carty is not out on 36. The captain, Shea Hope, is not out on 31. The two are currently sharing a partnership of 59 runs. Earlier on, we saw Evan Lewis being dismissed for 20 and Brandon King for 6. So that's the West Indies 105 for 2 after 20 overs. West Indies, of course, are trailing 1-0 in the series, having lost the first ODI on Wednesday. And they've made one change to the team with Jaden Seals replacing Shama Joseph. Well, let's bring you some basketball news this morning as the men's national basketball team, they put up a good showing, but they came up short in their opening match of the Creole Memorial Cup in Martinique last night. Well, Dominica went down to Guadeloupe in the tournament opener. Dominica, they were off to a good start. They had a 23-12 lead at the end of the first quarter. They were leading 37-30 at halftime, but Guadeloupe showed their experience and they took the match in the end 79-66. So Dominica losing there 79-66. Andel Olivache led Dominica with 15 points. Shama Felicite had 13 points and Yohani Regis had 9 points. Well, the four-nation tournament, which also features Martinique and the West African country of Benin, now heads to Dominica this weekend. Dominica will play Benin at the Massac Indoor Facility tomorrow. Guadeloupe will also take on Martinique tomorrow at the Massac Indoor Facility. On to some football news now. Middleham United FC and the Roosevelt Scarlet Bombers will both be looking to keep pace with the league leaders, Central Cooperative Credit Union Jubla FC, as they kick off Week 8 of the DFA Premier League tonight. Middleham United and the Roosevelt Scarlet Bombers will clash tonight at the DFA Technical Center from 6:30. Both teams are tied on 13 points and are starting the weekend 6 points behind Dubla, who are on top of the points table with 19 points. In other matches scheduled for this weekend, Connect 767 Quartz Ready Cash East Central will go in search of that first elusive win when they come up against Promex Harlem United on Saturday. That game is set for the DFA Technical Center. Second place, Maho Soccer Strikers. That's the Belfast Estate Maho Soccer Strikers will take on Valville Inway United. That game is also on Saturday at the DFA Technical Center. While on Sunday, Petro Caribbean Point Michel will battle the league leaders and defending champions Central Cooperative Credit Union Dubla FC at the Dubla playing field, and Sagico Southeast will battle DSFC on Sunday at the DFA Technical Center. Let's bring you some results from the DFA Division 1 League last night. There was a 2-1 win for Buster Warner over Kalibishi Diaspora or Kalibishi FC. Buster Warner took that match at 2-1 with Sheldon Pierre and Aiden Samuel getting a goal each. Jatham Lawrence got that lone goal for Karibishi. Back to cricket news. West Indies batsman Kavem Hodge is expected to feature this weekend as the KFC Summits go in search of another win in the Dominica Cricket Association's NCCU Premier League. Well, the West Indies batsman, who already has a century in the competition, will be looking for another solid display as the Summits will battle the Grand Bay Credit Union Colts in a top-of-the-table clash at the Botanic Gardens. That game gets underway from 1:30 on Saturday. In some other games this weekend, the Tremors will play Convenience Plus Hitters at the Geneva Playing Field, and the Kalinago Blasters will take on the Nagico Northern Stars at Benjamin's Park. In some athletics this morning, the Dominica Athletics Association will unveil its strategic plan for 2025 to 2030 as it holds its annual general meeting this weekend. The meeting is taking place tomorrow at the Dominica Olympic Committee headquarters. During the meeting, the association will present reports on activities and finances for the year 2024, provide updates on athlete development and competitions, and discuss strategic initiatives for the 2025 to 2026 period. So the President's address, the presentation of the 2024 financial and activity reports, plans for upcoming national and regional competitions, development plans and training opportunities, and the strategic plan for 2025 to 2030 are some of the main items on the agenda. Let's go back to cricket news as Ryan Alfred is going to get a hero's welcome at his school this morning as the St. Mary's Academy student bagged 6 wickets to help the SMA to a 10-run win over their arch rivals, the Dominica Grammar School, as the Sports Division Secondary Schools Under 15 cricket competition continued yesterday at the Botanic Gardens. Dominica Grammar School won the toss. They elected to bowl first. The St. Mary's Academy were dismissed for 120 in 19.4 overs. Rooney Williams got 18 and Lamar Sabroach 16. Kimron Peters, he picked up 6 for 29 in 7.4 overs, and Tylon Theophil 3 for 16 in 6 overs for the Dominica Grammar School. While the Grammar School, chasing 121 to win, were dismissed for 110. Tylon Theophil got 33 and Derwin Matthew 19, but it was Ryan Alfred who took 6 for 33 and Lamar Sabroach 3 for 37, guiding SMA to the win. SMA winning that game by 10 runs. Meantime, in the Sports Division Secondary Schools Under 14 Netball Championships yesterday, Castlebrew Secondary School defeated the Goodwill Secondary School 14-11. Top scoring for the Castlebrew Secondary School, Leanne Augustine made 10 out of 16 attempts, and Kyra Shillingford 4 from 5. While for the Goodwill Secondary School, we had Uriel Laura making 6 out of 10 attempts, and Christia Pear 5 out of 9 attempts. Back to cricket news. West Indies women's head coach Shane Deeds thinks that his players will need to believe as they head into the second one-day international against England this afternoon. The West Indies are trailing 1-0 in the series after losing the first match by 8 wickets. Haley Matthews got an unbeaten century but didn't get much support from the rest of the team, while the Windies coach says that the team looking to bounce back.
Obviously, Haley Matthews again, stamped her authority on the game, proved once again she's, in the top couple of players in the world and an absolute superstar. She played a fantastic knock and, obviously carried the team and got us to a total, probably about 20 or 30 short what we wanted to be. And then, with the ball, we started okay. Zeta really started well. We had a little chance in the first over, and then we bowled probably too many 4 balls, and they destroyed the power play, and then we were playing catch up from there. So it was disappointing, but obviously Hardy played a great knock, and I thought supported well at the end by Mandy Mangu, and then I thought Zeta bowled really, really well today, and stepped up with the new ball as a opening bowler. So that were the positives, but we're going to regroup quickly and bounce back ready for Friday night.
And that's the West Indies women's head coach Shane Deeds. So the second T20 gets underway this afternoon, and the first ball is at 1:35 this afternoon. Let's go to some cycling news this morning, as cyclists will have their toughest race of the season to date as the Dominica Cycling Association stages its 5th road race of the season. This weekend's race will take the cyclists from Marboy's Bar to Portsmouth and back. President of the Dominica Cycling Association, Ronald Charles.
And this one, we can consider it a tough one. It's going to be from Marboy's Bar to Portsmouth, roundabout in Portsmouth, and back to Marboy's Bar. This is one of the toughest, or it is one of the toughest race for the season. It's going to test patience, it's going to test endurance, and of course, determination. Again, all the categories will be racing. However, it is important to note that the juniors, women, and mountain bikes would have a shorter distance. That would not go beyond Collio. And therefore, all cyclists are asked to be on time on Sunday, ensure that their bikes are in tune, ensure that they have the necessary equipment, and be on time for registration. Registration is going to be early, between 7:30 and 8:15. And of course, your warm-up, ensure that you have enough time for that.
President of the Dominica Cycling Association, Ronald Charles. Let's go back to cricket news. Let's throw a quick eye on the second ODI between the West Indies and Ireland. Well, the West Indies now 122 for 2 after 22.2 overs. And Casey Carty is not out on 39. Shea Hope unbeaten on 45. Well, in some more cricket news, a new president of the Dominica Tipball Cricket Association, Nicholas Bruno, says the new executive is embarking on a mission to make tipball cricket as big and as popular as hardball cricket. Bruno was recently elected as president, replacing Joel Mingo, and he says that the immediate plans are to prepare for the upcoming National League.
The first thing we want is to establish football in Dominica. That is the ultimate goal. That we want football to have the same kind of status that the hardball cricket has in Dominica, and so we are striving towards that. We have launched our 2025 tournament. Registration is open until the 6th of June 2025. Well, this time around, we would want to have at least 10 teams in the tournament. Previous years, we have had as much as 6 teams. So we're looking to increase that to about 10 of that, 10. And this year as well, over the years, Gavin, St. Lucia have assisted us in developing our football, the awareness of football in Dominica. At the end of our competition, Darwin, we will want to pick a team to represent Dominica to play St. Lucia in a bilateral football competition from the 24th to the 31st of July of this year.
President of the Dominica Tipball Cricket Association, Nicholas Bruno. Before we end the DBS Morning Sports Report, another update on the West Indies match, and, well, not good news as Shea Hope, the captain, has just been dismissed for 49. So Shea Hope out for 49, caught by the wicketkeeper there, bowled by McCarthy. And the West Indies are now 127 for 3 after 22.5 overs. Shea Hope dismissed for 49. And Casey Carty is still there, not out on 40. Well, that's going to be the morning sports. More sporting highlights for you at 11 o'clock during the morning news update and at 1:28 during the 13:15 news. Until then, I'm Gavin Richards saying good morning.
Rudolph Thomas Enterprise in Portsmouth, your suppliers of building materials and hardware products. Over 20 years experience in the business. Rudolph Thomas has lumber and plywood, Portland and tile cement, steel rods, galvanized and fence pipe. And Rudolph Thomas can meet all your wire needs. Galvanized roofing sheets, doors, windows, toilet sets, face basins and bidets. PVC piping, fittings and lattice. Check out Rudolph Thomas for ceramic and vinyl floor and wall tile.